most often when I first encounter them, it's the visionary sort of sitting in both of those seats and kind of trying their best to do them both. And as a result, probably not doing either one of them very well, because they're not very good at being an integrator, which is frustrating for them. It's also frustrating for their team, right? And because they're kind of spending time and energy trying to do that, they're taking it away from being the good visionary that they need to be.
What is it that you're looking for when you're the owner of a company, you've got this vision, and you want to bring somebody in who's going to make that vision happen?
Good. So I want you to think about it as a 3-piece puzzle, okay? And so the first 2 pieces are the visionary and the integrator themselves. And, the edge where they connect, where that 2-piece puzzle connects. For the visionary, we've got to define the shape of that edge, which means taking the assessments, the visionary integrator assessments. That's a great first step. Maybe some profiling, strength finders, all of those are good to kind of really understand yourself and kind of your style and what you love, what you don't love, what you're great at, what you're not so good at, all that stuff to define that edge first. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the business. And, we talk about the visionary spectrum on the visionary side and the integrator spectrum on the integrator side. So on the visionary side, it's really about how much visionary energy does this business need? And if you're a single site operator, and you're in a market that's not very competitive, there's not a lot of moving parts. It's not changing very fast. Maybe you need less visionary in a market like that. If you're a multi-unit operator and things are changing super fast and it's really dynamic and doing a lot of different things, maybe there's more vision that's required. So think about how you as the visionary fit into that and, really, are you right for that? So we understand the visionary shape, we understand the business need, and then on the integrator side of the business, some businesses, they just need like a project manager type of integrator just to kind of pull together some simple things and people and get things done. But there's other businesses that they really, they've in multiple markets, they've got, big regulatory problems or compliance things, really dynamic, really complex, really changing rapidly. They need a much more robust integrator.
Whenever I've spoken to a pawnbroker who's very, very successful, there's always a second in command, a right hand, an integrator who has put the vision forward and made it happen. And they always say, I just hired somebody smarter than me. I hired somebody who's going to do what I had in my head. And I just couldn't get it out, or I couldn't make it happen. They were the ones who were able to come in and make it happen. Have you seen that? I know the rocket fuel talks about this. Are most of the successful companies that you've worked with have that visionary integrator relationship so well handled that that's allowed them to grow?
Yeah, and so, but it's a process, right? So it's been very often that when I first meet them, they're not both there. Most often when I first encounter them, it's the visionary sort of sitting in both of those seats and kind of trying their best to do them both. And as a result, probably not doing either one of them very well, because they're not very good at being an integrator, which is frustrating for them. It's also frustrating for their team, right? And because they're kind of spending time and energy trying to do that, they're taking it away from being the good visionary that they need to be. And so it's just kind of bringing it all down. So that's kind of step one, is make it visible. If you're sitting in both seats right now, that's okay. Make it visible. And then look at how you're doing in each one of those. Think about which one you really want to do, and then go about solving to get the other one. And then once we get the other one in place, and once we follow the process and we really strengthen that relationship to get it to do what it's capable of doing, that's when we begin to see the breakthrough in terms of results.